But Xavi Simons is so clever, and he steps into wherever the spaces are. He's very reactionary to what's going on, but I think he is on the verge of being a world-class footballer, because what he sees, there's sort of Phil Foden elements when you see Phil Foden's head on a swivel and making those runs that he doesn't always get the ball. It's been a bit of a nearly tournament for him. It's not totally happened for him just yet, but he is a massive, 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 massive threat. Here's the first example, really great example. Xavi Simons just dropping in. He initially was there to be able to get on the ball and to start to, take out the midfield. Because I think that's an interesting thing as well, in terms of, one, being correct in your press, but being not absolutely all at sea, because you've got players like Xavi Simons who will get into these very, very clever areas and find the space that's there. And he has that freedom to go and find those. But he also does a lot of hard work in doing that. Let's have another look at it. Another great example of it is here. Now, what I want to show you here is how, again, in terms of that word reactionary, he's looking at how the team sets up, what the system is, and what his movements are from that, to sort of allow for his teammates and his team, essentially, to be able to get past that midfield four that a lot of teams are going to have, okay? So Xavi Simons is here. And if we move it along, what we'll see is just great awareness. Great awareness, and then that ability and athleticism to go and drive. We will talk about Harry Kane. We'll talk about all these guys. But we know Dumfries here, and if it's Frimpong and he comes on, it's a similar thing. You're going to have that width there. He's actually underneath me. Sorry, he's underneath me. But what's really crucial here, which I can show you, is that look. That look from Xavi Simons. He is looking. He is ready. He knows that pass is happening. And once he knows that pass is happening, his movement is absolutely fantastic, because it allows him to get through and get round. Again, something we've got to be really, really careful with. And actually, the important thing here is the fullback and how it then, I think it's Kadrioglu. Struggle with that name. How it sort of takes and displaces the opposition. If we move it on one more, that pass gets played and he's gone. Look at Xavi Simons there. He's already gone. So quick. And it unnerves the opposition. Obviously, you got him behind. You're starting to get him behind here. There's that pass down the line if he wants to make it. So now all of a sudden, the left back wants to get to him as quickly as possible. Çalhanoğlu, he's very nervous. One of the centre backs, he's very nervous as well. So all of a sudden, Xavi Simons has affected, the brains of all these three. And that makes life a little bit difficult. And people make decisions, right? They have to make decisions and it displaces them. So the left back comes to get to Dumfries because the concern is Dumfries. Again, he's above my head here. So he goes to get at him quickly. Xavi Simons has made that run in behind. He's taking players with him. He's going to have to come across, and he makes life a little bit difficult. Now, there is a little hidden element here, which we're going to come back to, and I wonder if you can see it already. The key person. Let me know in the chat if you can spot it. And don't look at the ball. Look elsewhere, obviously. Move it along one more. And this is the other thing that they're very good with. So, as you can see, just here, there, you can see Xavi Simons and his movements. It's dragged players out of position. But it's also allowed them to break through the lines as well, because you've got Dumfries who's, instead of going, has stayed a little bit and held that width. And they've used that triangle to then get Scouten, who's very, very good at this, by the way. Another thing to keep an eye on is he's willing to kind of come and get the pass and then punch it through. Very good at punching that pass through. And you've taken out a lot of midfielders. Another example, Xavi Simons making that run again. Again, you can't see Dumfries because he's right next to me. But what you can see is Xavi Simons has already gone. He's already making that run because he knows the pass is coming here. He's not wasting his time looking to get the ball to feet here. He's gone. He's so clever. This is another example of Gakpo. Gakpo will always stay wide. He won't get involved. And again, when Weghorst comes on, he will now be that backboard that will stretch it, and it will allow someone like Depay to get into those different spaces. Xavi Simons will work all over the place again as well. But Gakpo is the key man. Xavi Simons and Gakpo, for me, I think are the key men for the Netherlands. And this is the great example of it, getting that ball out wide. Actually, this shows that freedom that when Weghorst comes on, it allows Depay is actually down here to come and help. But Ake gets the ball, and his aim is to get round the side of them and get that ball to Gakpo and let Gakpo do what he wants to do. You know, you might feel like you're thinking of a different player when it comes to him for Liverpool, and maybe we've not seen the best of him yet, but he is one hell of a player who loves to cut onto that right foot. He's very, very clever with how he does it, and he has been very direct, and he has really, really hurt the opposition. He's got an XG of 1.06, yet he's scored 3 goals in this tournament. And again, another great example of Xavi Simons finding the space, wanting the ball, but Gakpo taking players and sucking players in as well is super clever stuff. Those 2 players are absolutely crucial. Dumfries, again, with that freedom to get higher up the pitch as well. And I think the thing with Gakpo in particular is you have to, and this is the other thing, actually, the final thing to say. Again, Xavi Simons, I'm going to highlight him last time, I promised. Even if it's narrow, you've got so many technical players, but that little bit of pace out wide as well. This is an area where, again, some players have been sucked into the centre of the pitch, and you feel like you're safe if you're Turkey. But they have that technical quality to play a fantastic little pass, which he does, and then all of a sudden they're in. But again, the other great thing about these 2 shots is that he plays this little pass to Dumfries. But again, the principle of Gakpo being out wide, it doesn't get involved. Yes, it might be narrow. Yes, some people might get involved. Gakpo will not get involved. He will retain that width. And if he is going to make that driving run, it's going to be to go and get himself a goal. Dumfries knows exactly what to do here. Hit it to the back post. This is the winning goal. Obviously, it's an own goal, but the pressure comes from Gakpo having that run on the defender there. And actually, I think the defender kind of thought he was fine. He wasn't. Very, very clever stuff. But it comes from that spark from Xavi Simons. It comes from that athleticism of Dumfries and the freedom, more importantly, that he's allowed to be up there. And then Gakpo on that other side, very difficult to defend because he's on the blind side. And the thing I wanted to focus on when it comes to him one-on-one, what he does, and it's what Arjen Robben does. You know, we all knew Arjen Robben was going to cut onto his right foot. First of all, Gakpo is so two-footed. It's phenomenal. Secondly, what he will do is wait until you stand on your sort of prominent foot, on the foot that you want to, and then he'll go. And it's super clever stuff.